Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Time Machine. Let's go, let's rock and roll. I'm Harper, and today I'm here for the love. That's right, the love. The love of the game, the love of the doing, the love of the creating. Who cares if the art is any good or not? Because the fun, the love, is in the making of it. Ooh, that sort of sounds like a 70s bedroom song. Pardon me. Here's the scoop. I hadn't drawn anything for about 3 weeks, which is a long time for me because I had too much work and other life stuff going on. A story as old as the ancients, and one that I'm sure you've all lived through many, many times yourself. Yesterday, I finished all the work I had to do around 3 in the afternoon. So naturally, I thought, well, most of the day is gone. I really don't have time to do much right now. I might as well crack a silver bullet, grab some Doritos, classic taco flavor, and maybe watch the latest episode of Cartoonist Kayfabe on the big screen. Now, normally, like 9 times out of 10, that's what I would have done. But like I said, I hadn't drawn anything in a long time, and I was itching to make something. I was excited to make a mess, make something sloppy, and just get loose and have fun with it. Because the last few weeks of client work had been very precise and had a ton of rules and guidelines and regulations and meetings and hogwash on top of hogwash and uptight perfection bullshit. So of course, today I was ready to flip things around and just make something that I wanted to make. The fewer the rules, the better. All right, let's take a closer look at today's painting. All right, let's do that. After gluing down a quickie collage for background texture and interest, I started in with a stumpy little piece of charcoal and no roadmap. Hold on, let's back up a second. Are 2 pages from an old Webster's dictionary stuck to a plain white piece of paper considered collage? I mean, technically, collage or no? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Hemingway, I started drawing with zero premeditation and nothing in mind. I'm just going to barf onto the page and see what comes out. So it was no surprise that my brain went back to an old standby, a top 5 favorite, a well-worn classic motif, a Skull King. Now, I've drawn at least 100,000 skulls in my lifetime, and probably about 19,000 of those had some kind of flower design along with it. But for today's painting, the subject matter doesn't matter. No preliminary pencil drawing, no big plan, just start making marks. And if you don't like parts of it, you can just paint over it. Once the initial drawing was done, I smeared and smudged parts of it to give it more visual interest and to have some dark and vague areas to dig out of when I start putting in some of the details. And to start digging some of those details out, I used some white gesso, Liquitex brand, to build the skull features back from all that black. This is one of my favorite parts of making stuff like this, because you get to be an archaeologist, uncovering, building, and discovering what the image is going to become. Throughout this whole painting, I'm just putting light on dark, dark over light, building and experimenting one layer at a time. What works, what doesn't, what looks cool, and what looks like a giant baboon butt. Pro tip, the baboon butt stuff, go ahead and paint over that and cross it out, and you don't want any of that. Trust me. And here's the thing. It's this layering effect, this making and correcting of mistakes right on the page. That's what makes the final image more interesting. Not perfect and polished, but interesting. And that's what's most important to me. After the first pass with gesso over the charcoal was finished, I scratched up the surface of the page with the edge of a palette knife. More texture, more visual interest. I drew in some outlines of flowers with a yellow and orange color pencil, and then painted some of them blue. In keeping with the whole loose and fun and not precise nature of this painting, take a look at those flowers. That's not really what a flower looks like, but your brain immediately recognizes them as flowers, and that's all I needed for this image. And then I noticed that the skull needed some blue on it as well to help keep the color balance of the whole thing in check. I tried using one of my new oil pastels, the red one, on the ScreenWrite eye hole. Looked pretty cool at first, but in the final image, you can barely tell it's there. More refining with colored pencil and charcoal, and then I added the flowers on the left for balance and to round out the image. It really needed to break out onto the opposite page. All right, hold that thought. I gotta go get another cup of coffee. I'll be right back for more jibber jabber. Oh, I pity the fool. After adding a little red and orange and more yellow and blue to the image, I noticed that the right side, sort of on the bottom there, was a little too heavy. So I cut in some background lights with some unbleached white. And then, staying with the unbleached white, I made a few final highlights around the entire image. So I took a step back, as one often does when working on such an amazing piece of art like this. I noticed that there was too much blue and not enough of the warm colors in the top flowers there on the crown. Well, folks, you'll be happy to know that I remedied that situation, and color balance was once again, kinda somewhat restored. Oh, thank the Lord! Now, friends and neighbors, I want you to lean into your television set real close and turn the volume all the way up, because here comes the after-school special important takeaway of this video. All I wanted to do today was explore, experiment, have fun, and noodle around with charcoal and paint and not be attached to the outcome. And it's a damn good thing that at 52 years old, holy shit, I still have days when I feel that sense of urgency and excitement for creating something. I'm lucky. I still want to make stuff just for the hell of it. For the love of it. Wow, you know what? That was a really good ending to the video. Yeah, I thought so too, because a lot of times he sounds like a real asshole, but that was actually uplifting and made me feel good. Yeah, me too. Okay, let's go get some lunch. As a public service announcement, I'd like to remind you that if you'd like to see even more hot sketchbook action, cool stories about art and life, and dad jokes, check out these rad videos right here. And if you thought this video was better than roadkill for breakfast, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications by clicking that bell icon so you'll never miss another sketchbook video right here on The Time Machine. Thank you so much for watching. I really mean it this time.